say, Floyd? Coach. Okay, good. Starting off, first of all, great victory for our kids. Extremely proud of them. Challenge them to come down here and bring some of the North to the South and play physical, hard-nosed football. We talked about, we thought that we could run the ball on a good rush defense. That defense has stopped the run this year at North Carolina State. It was a great challenge for our kids and our coaches and that offensive line, but we felt like we could, and I was really pleased to see the established run game to get our first ACC road victory. At halftime, we talked about the way we're going to win the game. The second half was to play tough, hard-nosed tackling, physical up-front football, and protect the football. We did a bad job taking care of the ball in the first half with those turnovers, but we rectified those things in the second half. And excuse me. The next thing I was extremely pleased about was we challenged our secondary. We all know how disappointed we've been in our play in the secondary, giving up big plays. Up until that last drive, I don't think we had any over 25, and then we were kind of in a fire zone prevent mode, and they hit us in the seams. But so I was pleased, losing Keon Lynn and seeing those kids, step up to the challenge. All in all, great road victory. We got a great group of student athletes that work extremely hard on and off the field, and it's great to see them reap the benefits of their hard work and their steady mindset after getting knocked down a notch by Clemson. I felt great Monday, or I should say Sunday, when those kids left the building, because they were like, "Coach, we got you. We'll be back. Don't worry about us." And by golly, they came back on Tuesday and they were ready to work. So good group of young men. I'm proud of the first victory on the road in the ACC. And with that, any questions you may have, and if anyone has a cough drop,
you can raise your hand. You can raise your hand so I speak all that, Mike.
Scott, time and again today, your defense played great, made stops. Starting with that sort of goal line stand in the second quarter, how big was that? Did that play a lot in momentum too going forward?
I think so. We always talk about one, sudden change opportunities, and two, when we get inside the 10-yard line, your true character will be revealed. And we've had thank you so much. We've had a couple of those, even in the Clemson game. So that shows character. And our kids, they're going to keep fighting regardless of the situation, and they did in that situation.
You lost Dyshawn for most of the second half today.
Yeah, he'll be okay. He's got an ankle sprain. It's something that's been nagging, all the way back until this summer. But they put him in a boot. He was walking around on it, and he said, "Coach, I'll be back. Don't worry." So I feel good about that.
You talked about bringing the North to the South. Your running game obviously led the way today.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to be a recipe for you guys going forward in this
conference? I think any recipe that we think can work going into a game plan will be the best recipe. But I like those two horses, and I like the young ones too when we get them going. And I know that offensive line likes to try to run that ball, by providing space. And you'd like that to be a recipe. If you can't, people are going to try to shut it down. So we have to be able to adjust the elements as those things come up, and we will.
So what is it that you did see with their defensive line that thought that allowed you to think you could come down there and do what you did?
Well, they're an extremely sound defense. Coach Thorne does a great job. He's a defensive guy. They're going to line up and more times than not, show you what they're in and try to out-tough you and out-fundamental you. And when you get into a situation like that, you tell your kids, we know where they're going to line up. They know where we're going to line up. Now who's going to be the toughest? And that's a mentality that we always want to have around here. And I know when I look at Mackey and Rob Trudeau and Hickey and those kids in the eye, and they're looking at me like, "Coach, we'll run it. Coach, we'll run it." Doggone it, I believe it. And I say, let's go. And it was a good job. There are a couple snafus out there, but for the most part, I thought they did a great job.
Coach, Terrell was finding plenty of holes out there running. Was there any point where you kind of gave him the green light and said, "Hey, if you got space,
No, not so much. We just tell him, make your reads, play within yourself, which at times he didn't tonight. But he's a very good athlete. Not the fastest, rat on the track, but he is a good athlete. He's a good basketball player now. And so he's got vision, and we tell him 1, 2, 3, you don't have it, go play football. And I like the way he battles. It's going to be a learning situation every week, but the thing with him is he'll continue to fight and go to work. Coach McDonald grabbed me and said, hey, Thursday night I was up here late, and Terrell was up here with me, and I felt really good because he was talking to me about opener plays. So I see his development growing every week. And it's not going to be the prettiest with a sophomore, but he's growing, and we can win with him because he's a fighter.
He's got a couple penalties on both sides of the ball in the first half. Did it feel like that was at all a part of what stalled the offense early?
Yeah, a little bit. The one holding penalty, I'll be interested to see that one on tape. I know Mackey was mad about the call, but I'm sure it was a good call. His officials did a good job. And, a couple of the other ones, we got to get those out of our system. The one was on me. We banged that field goal. I did a horrible job on that, taking points off the board. Ryan kicked it through, and just a bad job by a rookie coach, and I got to get those out of our system. And those kids are counting on me not to make mistakes, and I did on that one. So, I look at them and get on them hard about the penalties, and then they can turn it right back on me. So both myself and the players got to clean up our act with some of those penalties.
Nick.
I know you wanted to run the ball, but outside of the broiled completion, there wasn't a whole lot in the passing game again. Do you think the weather played into that, or is the passing game still a concern at this point?
No, it's a great victory for our kids. I love the way they moved the ball on offense.
Stephen, did you?
Yeah, looking at the secondary, obviously, a lot of the mistakes that had happened were miscommunications, talking to some of those guys. Tonight, the result was good, but you did see some guys getting open. So are you kind of more happy with the result, or are you more happy with the fact that you think they're communicating better and there weren't as many guys getting open?
I was pleased. I'll see the video to really take a good look at the intricacies of it, but where'd they end up here? 226 yards passing. I'm all right with that.
Mm-hmm. And do you feel like facing a team like NC State, who did struggle with its passing game, is that just timely for having your secondary where it is right now?
Say that one more
Was
time.
it timely to face a team like this who kind of struggled to pass
I
the
don't know.
ball?
You're way deeper than I am. I was just pleased to get a victory.
All right, Sal.
Where'd you?
And then we'll go back to you, Mike. Sal.
Coach, obviously road wins in conference are never easy to get. What does this just mean for the program to get the first ACC win on the road?
Yeah, it's just one win, but I think it's huge. I think that mentality going on the road and playing against the 12th man in that crowd, it's a good crowd, always is here. I think it's a huge momentum boost for our kids to know they can do that. There's never any doubt in my mind that we could do it. But until you do it, you sit there and you say to yourself, well, we got to do it first. I believe we can. I know we can. But until you do, you don't feel great about it. So I just what I really liked is I liked the kids' mindset when they were on the sideline in that third and fourth quarter. No panic. A lot of guys encouraging one another. Just the brotherhood of the fight in their eyes and the communication, in their voices was just very exciting to me as a coach, as a first-time head coach, because I always felt like you want to be able to feel your team be what you think they can be, and I felt that on the sideline. I felt the fight, and I saw it in their eyes, and I heard it in their voices, and deep down I was like, we're gonna win this dang thing, and we did, and I was just so proud of those kids. I know you guys say I call them kids too much. I'm so proud of those student athletes that went out there and fought the good fight today.
Scott, how do you dream up a fake where Charlie Lowe runs an option to Ryan Norton?
Yeah, we had, I wanted to make it a 14-point game, a true two-score extra point football game. So I looked at it and I said, we practiced this a bunch. The look was there. It's just one of those things. I look at the kicking game no different than offense and defense. And if a tendency presents itself, it's a good football play. It's not a gimmick. Like that play was not a gimmick. We had numbers back there. If the numbers wouldn't have been there, we would have checked out of it like we have during the season, unbeknownst to you guys. So what it comes down to is, if it's there, you run a good play. If it's not there, you kick it or call a timeout, or do a knucklehead move like I did and take points off the board. My boss is still mad at me. I know he is. I'm going to get better.
Last question from Bud.
Yes, Bud.
So, did this play out the way you thought it would be? 10-10 in the fourth quarter, kind of a slugging around sort of thing. Because all the other games, you guys had averaged 52.5 points with these guys over the years. I know that doesn't mean much coming into today.
Yeah.
But 10-10, was that what you thought? It was low scoring sort of fourth quarter game? Or what?
I really didn't have a good feel for what type of a scoring game it would be so much. I did believe in my heart that it would be nip and tuck throughout. I really did. So it's probably typical in my mindset that it was going to probably be a fourth quarter game, but I didn't know if it'd be a lot of points or if it'd be a little tighter like it was.
Thank you,
All set.
Coach.
Thank you.